Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we're going to be taking a look at 5 knives that have just really grown on me since I've reviewed them. Now, some of these knives I even gave pretty positive reviews, but they still grew on me more. Some of the things that I didn't like about them turned out to be not that big of a deal, and I thought that was worth passing on to you guys. Now, again, this is just my personal opinions, what I think, and, you know, some of that can be falsified just by me liking something. Maybe it didn't get better, I just liked the knife more, so the problem wasn't as big of a deal over time. So take it for what it's worth, maybe take it with a grain of salt, but these are 5 knives that have really grown on me since I've unboxed them this year. Whether I didn't like them or like them, I like them or like them a lot more now. So with that being said, let's get into it, and let's start off with one that I did give her a good review to, the Civivi Sendy. Now, there really wasn't much I didn't like about this knife. It's a Ben Peterson design. Ben is a fantastic dude. All that aside, though, this is an excellent office carry. It carries great in the pocket. Nice wood scales just make it a little classier. The black wash blade goes really well with the wood. But what really kind of threw me off at first was this flipper tab. Now, the action was fantastic, but this, I guess it was just a little stiffer out of the box. I guess this took some break-in time. Now, I still feel this flipper tab. It still feels a little pokey, but at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me at all anymore. Like, at first, I was like, oh, God, why did they do that? They almost nailed it. They almost nailed it, but this flipper tab. No, this flipper tab has only gotten better and better, and even all the action is still slightly stiff because it's such a thin blade. Keep in mind, this is a very thin blade. I think we're talking 90 thousandths in terms of blade stock thickness, so much thinner than your average 120 thousandths blade stock, so that's going to make it a lighter blade. It's going to make everything feel a little stiffer on the close. You have to shake it shut a little harder, but the overall lock and detent itself just broke in incredibly well to where the actual flipping action is just effortless, and it is so satisfying. And you can also easily do the lighter flick, which is really cool. I can't do that on very few knives because something about my hands, I don't know if it's a dexterity thing or it's just a positioning thing, but I usually can't do it. But with this model, very, very easily do that lighter flip, which is just really fun, especially when you can't do it on other knives. I really enjoy that. But it all comes down to just how well this knife broke in. It was really good during the review, and I just love it even more now. And I believe it's still pretty easily available, so you can get it a lot of places, of course. These will all be linked below. But yes, fantastic little knife here, the Civivi Sendy. If you get it and it feels a little weird at first, give it time. If it has any effect on you the way it did on me, you will come to love it, the Civivi Sendy. Next up, one other Civivi, and this one here is completely my fault. This is the Civivi Nugz, and I gotta own up to this because I just don't think I gave this knife a legit chance when I reviewed it. I don't think I gave it a bad review. I gave it kind of a decent review, but for me, I had a lot of issues with the ergos. You know, the more I've carried this, I guess I've just kind of gotten used to it. My hand is acclimated to the shape of the handle, I guess. There really is no choil, so you can't do that. But I just thought it felt really, really slender at the bottom, and I just didn't like it. I still don't love it. I can't say it's, you know, I haven't done like a complete 180 and it's like, oh, it's one of the best Civivi knives, because I would still put this kind of midway through my list of Civivis. But the blade itself, there was never anything wrong with the blade. It's a fantastic blade. Excellent blade cutout with very, very nice middle finger flickability. But for me, it was more about the handle, and there's just something about that to where it's not that bad. It's gotten to be acceptable for me to where I could easily see myself EDCing this amongst other options, like picking it from a group. Not just when I'm trying to review it. Obviously, when I'm reviewing something, I purposely carry it. But now that I reviewed this, I don't have any need to carry it. I could still see myself reaching for this sometimes. I really like this clip back here. The clip has actually, I've come to really appreciate the clip from a grip standpoint because it adds a little beefiness to the bottom of the handle, which helps kind of make for that lack of slenderness down here. So I really do like that. That may have been the turning point, but it feels really good in the hand now. It's not like, you know, obviously something that I would go to every single time, but it's become a viable option for me, and I really have come to enjoy the overall action, middle finger flicking, and the aesthetics of it. I really like the bigger blade. Like I said before, that reverse tanto is, I consider this a reverse tanto. It could be a modified Warncliffe. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a great design. The one issue I had with it, just isn't that big of an issue for me anymore. So maybe I need to think a little harder before I go talking about the ergos of a knife, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this one has grown on me. It's gotten to be one that I do quite like. That is the Civivi Nugz. Next up here, we have a couple Kansepts. And now these are both Kansepts. This one here, the Prometheus. This is one to where I did give it a very good review, but it just, I like it so much more now. This is another one. Break-in. This thing is so smooth. It's also a very, I think a very clean, maybe not classy, but a very elegant design. It has a very nice finger choil, carbon fiber with bronze accents. Always look good. Always add a little bit of a classy level to it. Just a really, really nice design from, I believe that's Doc. Yes, this is a Doc design. And I actually think there's a budget version of this knife out through another company, a newer company. Haven't handled their stuff yet, but it looks just like this. I just saw it recently, so I can't say too much about it. But I'm pretty sure there's a budget version going around somewhere with a company not named Kansept. I can't even remember the name, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. But this Kansept Prometheus has just gotten better and better and better. Last I saw, it was on sale for, it's normally $138. I believe it's on sale at Blade HQ right now for $119. I don't know if that sale is still going on. If it's past, I apologize. But yeah, this is a great knife. Even at $138, I think it's a pretty fair value compared to a lot of other knives. I don't see any real issue. Obviously, the less you can get it for, the better, all the time, always. But yeah, it's just really, really broken in so smooth. Whether you're closing it or flipping it open, it's a really good smooth one. Just a very great carry for me, and one that has only gotten better through use. So the Kansept Prometheus. And then this guy right here, this big brute. This is the Kansept Hinterland. And the only real gripe I had on this, I called this one of the best Kansepts ever made when it came out. And I still stand by that. I love this design. But I was pretty bummed that there was only a thumb stud on one side. And I still can't say I love that, but I have just carried this guy so much now to where I've gotten to the point to where it's not that big of a deal for me. Do I wish they would add it? Yes, I'd be lying if I said I didn't wish they would eventually add a thumb stud to the other side, or just even regular thumb studs for that matter. But that aside, this thing, the weight of this blade, and just the ergos have made me stay in love with this. The ergos on this thing were like, it's almost like I designed this handle for my hand. That's how comfortable it is for me. And I think it would feel that way for a lot of people. I don't think my hands are that unique and that different. I think a lot of people would come to really thoroughly enjoy this knife if you give it a chance. And it's really very affordable for what it is. I mean, we are looking at a very nice bolster lock, excellent micarta, titanium. Is that S35? Yeah, S35 VN, a big size knife for 185 bucks. I mean, that's a great deal. I have zero issue with the price. This is one of the best priced Kansepts for a new Kansept where you don't have to wait for it to go on sale or anything. One of the best pricings right out of the box for any Kansept I've ever seen, to be honest. I love this knife. It is so good. And it's just continued to grow on me and enjoy it. And it's one that's not leaving my collection. There's very few Kansepts I can say they're not leaving my collection. This one is not. Maybe someday maybe I'll get a mod and have a different thumb stud put on it. That could be, but it doesn't matter. I love this knife so much. Highly recommend checking it out. The Kansept Hinterland. And last up, I didn't think I'd be saying this year, but we have a recurve that I just have fallen head over heels for. That is so good. This here is a, where is it there? Dirk Pinkerton design right there. This is the Artisan Cutlery Cami coming in at 199 bucks. And normally when I see a recurve, I just look the other way. I don't even care. That's just me. I mean, some people will think that's stupid. I wouldn't even argue it, but it's just me. It's just what my head does. I don't know why. But got this one in hand, put it through the review paces. Slicey is all get out. One of the very few recurves that really got me excited over the past few years. Really enjoy this. I like the thumb disc. I like it a lot. It is great for middle finger flicking. The detent and action on this guy, of course, is run on bearings. So good, whether you're flipping it or middle finger flicking it, or even using your thumb to kick that blade out. Sometimes with the thumb disc, it'll take a little wrist just because of how thumb discs work. You're kind of having to push off a little more, as to where thumb studs, you can usually just like pop them out. Thumb discs take a little more extension of the thumb, but for what this is, for thumb deployment on a thumb disc, this is definitely well above average, and I would consider it great in terms of deployment for thumb discs. It's really good. Middle finger flicking is like through the roof good. It's effortless, and it's very satisfying. You also have, this has some tactical vibes to it. It's really, really good in the reverse grip. Has a nice, strong frame lock. So there, I think that some people look down on frame locks, which I'll never understand. I love frame locks. The only issue I've had with frame locks in the past has been the detent, and this detent is on point. It is such a good detent. No issues with that whatsoever. Everything about this knife is a winner for me, and one of the very few recurves that, like I said before, has really got my attention and has really grown on me to fully love over the past years. That is the Artisan Cutlery Cami, and let's bring them back out and take a look at 5 knives that have just really grown on me this year. Like I said, some were love at first sight, some took a little extra effort over time to get there, but we got there. And all 5 of these knives I would highly recommend for various reasons, basically the reasons that I listed in this video. So let me know, guys, what knives this year did you get that maybe you thought, uh-oh, I made a mistake, and they kind of came back and they impressed you? These are 5 for me. I think they're awesome. Let me know in the comments which knives did that for you. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.